I'd always been buying and selling stuff. My dad had a little coin shop, and I wanted a pawn shop.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be at the center of a global phenomenon while grappling with personal and professional storms? Rick Harrison, the star of Pawn Stars, is living that reality every day. Rick Harrison, known to fans as Richard Kelvin Harrison, was born on March 22, 1965. His arrival into the world marked the beginning of a life that would be shaped by both triumphs and profound tragedies. Rick's parents, Richard Benjamin Harrison and Joanne Rue Harrison, were a couple deeply rooted in traditional values. Together with their 4 children, Rick, his sister Joanne, and his 2 brothers, Joseph and Chris, they formed a close-knit family. In the early years of Rick's life, the Harrison family wasn't wealthy, but they were rich in love and support. They navigated life's ups and downs with a certain resilience molded by their experiences and circumstances. Richard, Rick's father, worked diligently in his role with the U.S. Navy, a job that would soon lead the family to relocate, setting off a series of life changes that would profoundly impact young Rick. The first and most heart-wrenching of these changes came with the loss of Rick's older sister, Joanne. Joanne was born with Down syndrome, a condition that would cast a long shadow over the Harrison household. Her life was brief, ending at just 6 years old. This devastating loss was not just a family tragedy but a profound emotional blow that rippled through Rick's early years. For Rick, Joanne's absence was like a silent, lingering void, shaping his childhood in ways that would only become apparent as he grew older. Joanne's condition and subsequent passing left a deep imprint on Rick and his family. The grief was palpable, a constant undercurrent in their lives. The loss was not just the death of a beloved sister but also the absence of the potential she might have had. For Rick, who was still very young, it meant growing up with a stark reminder of fragility and loss. The family's attempt to move forward was often marked by a quiet sadness, an unspoken acknowledgement of the space Joanne once occupied. This early tragedy left its mark on Rick's development and family dynamics. He was a child who learned early on about the harsh realities of life. His family's efforts to cope with Joanne's passing were a testament to their strength, but for Rick, it meant facing the world with a heavy heart and a mature understanding of loss far beyond his years. As if this loss wasn't enough, Rick's life would soon be further complicated by another significant change. When Rick was just 2 years old, the family was relocated to San Diego, California, due to Richard Harrison's work with the Navy. This move was more than just a change of address, it was a shift in the very fabric of Rick's early childhood. Leaving behind familiar surroundings and friends, the family had to start anew in a city that was as different from their old home as could be. This period of adjustment was fraught with challenges. Young Rick, already grappling with the loss of his sister, now faced the trials of adapting to a new environment. His life took another unexpected turn when he began experiencing epileptic seizures at the age of 8. These seizures were not just medical issues but profound disruptions to his daily life. They forced him into periods of bed rest, restricting his movements and isolating him from the world around him. During these long stretches of inactivity, Rick found solace in books. His reading material became a refuge from his physical limitations and a source of escape and fascination. One particular series that captured his imagination was The Great Brain by John D. Fitzgerald. The series, featuring a young con artist named Tom D. Fitzgerald, resonated with Rick. The character's cleverness and adventures offered Rick a vicarious thrill and a way to channel his own frustrations into something productive. In addition to his literary interests, Rick developed a keen fascination with physics and history. He immersed himself in these subjects, driven by a curiosity that seemed to grow stronger despite the challenges he faced. His intellectual pursuits were a testament to his resilience and a hint at the potential he had to carve out a successful career, possibly even as a history professor, had life taken a different turn. In 1967, his father, Richard Harrison, received new orders from the U.S. Navy that necessitated a move from their familiar surroundings to the sun-soaked city of San Diego, California. For Rick, who was only 2 years old at the time, this transition was more than just a change of scenery, it was a complete upheaval of his early childhood. San Diego, with its sprawling streets and bustling city life, presented a stark contrast to the environment Rick had known before. The move wasn't simply a matter of packing up belongings, it meant leaving behind old friends, a familiar neighborhood, and the comfort of what he had come to know. For young Rick, the change was disorienting. He had to adjust to a new home, new surroundings, and new faces, all at an age where stability and routine are crucial. This relocation introduced an early sense of instability into Rick's life, a feeling that would become a recurring theme in his journey. Just as Rick was beginning to settle into his new environment, life presented him with another set of challenges. At the age of 8, he began experiencing epileptic seizures. This development was more than just a medical issue, it was a profound disruption to his daily life and well-being. The seizures, characterized by sudden and uncontrollable bursts of electrical activity in the brain, affected Rick's body in ways that went beyond mere physical symptoms. They introduced a level of uncertainty and fear that permeated his everyday existence. Rick's health challenges had far-reaching effects. Physically, the seizures left him debilitated, often confined to bed for days on end. Imagine a young boy, full of curiosity and energy, suddenly facing the restriction of not being able to engage in typical childhood activities. His condition forced him into a world of limitations, where every day was a gamble, and the simple joys of running around with friends or playing in the park became fraught with anxiety. The unpredictability of his seizures meant that even the smallest of activities had to be approached with caution, altering how Rick interacted with the world around him. Socially, the impact was equally significant. While other children were out exploring and making friends, Rick found himself isolated. His condition made him stand out, but not in a way he would have chosen. School and social interactions became sources of stress rather than enjoyment. He missed out on social gatherings, school events, and the everyday experiences that help children form friendships and build confidence. Instead, Rick's world was one of hospital visits, medical appointments, and an ever-present awareness of his own vulnerability. The emotional toll on Rick was immense. Epileptic seizures can be frightening at any age, but for a child, they come with an added layer of confusion and fear. Rick had to come to terms with the reality that his body could not always be trusted. This internal struggle was compounded by external pressures. He was aware of the worry and concern etched on his parents' faces, and the constant care they had to provide only highlighted the gravity of his condition. Rick's family, especially his parents, were profoundly affected by his health issues. The emotional strain on them was palpable. Richard and Joanne Harrison had already faced the heartache of losing their daughter, Joanne, and now they were grappling with the daily challenges of managing Rick's seizures. Their concern was constant, their stress visible. The need to balance care for Rick with the demands of daily life was a delicate and difficult task for them. Every seizure was a reminder of the fragility of their child's health and the limitations of their own ability to protect him. Rick's health issues didn't just affect his physical and social life, they also played a significant role in shaping his interests and hobbies. During the periods when he was confined to bed, Rick turned to books for solace and distraction. It was during these times that he developed a deep interest in reading. His fascination with these subjects hinted at a potential academic path, one where his intellect and curiosity could shine. Despite the challenges of his physical health, personal interests, and academic potential, his childhood, marked by the constraints of his epileptic seizures, found a welcome escape in the pages of books. Rick's immersion in literature was not merely a pastime but a lifeline, offering him a world of possibilities beyond the physical limitations imposed on him. One of the most significant influences on Rick's intellectual development was the Great Brain series by John D. Fitzgerald. This series, featuring the adventures of a sharp-witted young con artist named Tom D. Fitzgerald, ignited a spark within Rick. Tom, the series' protagonist, was a 10-year-old with an uncanny ability to navigate complex situations using his ingenuity and cleverness. For Rick, Tom's exploits were more than just engaging narratives, they were a reflection of a world where intellect and resourcefulness could overcome adversity. Rick's connection with Tom was deeply personal. While Rick grappled with the limitations imposed by his health, Tom's ability to outsmart and outmaneuver those around him provided a form of escapism and empowerment. Through the pages of these books, Rick found a sense of agency and control that was often elusive in his day-to-day life. The stories allowed him to envision a world where he could harness his own intellect and creativity to shape his destiny, despite the physical constraints he faced. As Rick's fascination with the Great Brain series deepened, so did his broader interest in reading and learning. He began to explore a wide range of subjects, driven by a curiosity about the world around him. His intellectual pursuits were not confined to fiction. Rick developed a genuine passion for subjects like physics and history. Physics, with its exploration of the fundamental principles that govern the universe, intrigued Rick. The idea of understanding the natural world through mathematical and scientific concepts appealed to his analytical mind. Rick was captivated by the elegance of physical laws and the challenge of solving complex problems. He spent hours poring over books and materials that delved into topics like mechanics, electromagnetism, and quantum physics. This fascination with the workings of the universe was more than just an academic interest, it was a way for Rick to engage with a world that often felt unpredictable and uncontrollable. Rick's interest in history, on the other hand, was fueled by a desire to connect with the past and understand the human experience. He was drawn to the narratives of ancient civilizations, the rise and fall of empires, and the stories of individuals who had left their mark on history. For Rick, history was not just a series of events and dates, it was a living, breathing story that offered insights into human nature and societal evolution. The idea of becoming a history professor was a dream that briefly took shape in Rick's mind. He envisioned a career where he could share his passion for history with others, sparking curiosity and learning in the next generation. Rick's academic potential was evident in his dedication to these subjects. His extensive reading and study in both physics and history reflected a mind eager to learn and explore. Despite the health challenges that often kept him physically constrained, his intellectual pursuits allowed him to transcend those limitations. The passion he developed for these subjects was a testament to his resilience and determination. In the larger narrative of Rick Harrison's life, these early interests and academic aspirations played a crucial role. They provided him with a sense of purpose and direction during a time when his physical health might have otherwise dominated his existence. Rick's engagement with literature, physics, and history was not just about personal enrichment, it was about building a foundation of knowledge and curiosity that would influence his later endeavors. As Rick continued to navigate the complexities of his health and personal life, his intellectual pursuits remained a constant source of inspiration and motivation. The stories of Tom D. Fitzgerald, the principles of physics, and the lessons of history became integral parts of his identity. They helped shape his worldview, offering a lens through which he could understand and interpret the world around him. Then came Pawn Stars, which began in the early 2000s when Rick and his family decided to turn their pawn shop into a television show. The idea was born out of a blend of Rick's lifelong passion for history and collectibles and his family's long-standing involvement in the pawn business. What started as a simple notion soon evolved into a groundbreaking reality television series. The concept behind Pawn Stars was both simple and revolutionary. Unlike other pawn shops, which were often shrouded in mystery and drama, this show aimed to bring a new level of transparency and entertainment to the pawn business. Rick, his father Richard, his son Corey, and their friend and employee Chum Lee became the faces of a show that offered viewers a behind-the-scenes look at the intriguing world of pawn brokering. The show's format combined real-life negotiations with the fascinating history behind the items brought in, creating a unique blend of education and entertainment. When Pawn Stars premiered on the History Channel in 2009, it quickly became a sensation. The show's unique premise, coupled with the charismatic personalities of the cast, struck a chord with audiences. Viewers were drawn to the combination of historical insights, the excitement of dealing with rare artifacts, and the engaging family dynamics. It wasn't long before Pawn Stars became a cultural phenomenon, capturing the imagination of millions and establishing itself as a mainstay in reality television. The success of Pawn Stars was meteoric. The show quickly amassed a massive following and garnered impressive ratings, making it one of the highest-rated shows on cable television. Its impact extended beyond just ratings, influencing the perception of pawn shops and providing a platform for the Harrisons to showcase their expertise and personalities to a global audience. The show's success was marked by a slew of awards and accolades recognizing its innovative format and entertainment value. It won several awards, including accolades for its contribution to reality television and its ability to engage and educate viewers about the history and value of various items. But beneath the glitz and glamour of television fame, they were grappling with personal struggles that were far less visible to the public eye. The success of Pawn Stars did little to alleviate the ongoing challenges that Rick and his family faced. Despite the show's popularity, Rick's personal life was marked by a series of hardships and emotional burdens. For Rick, the contrast between his public success and private struggles was stark. On screen, he appeared as a confident and knowledgeable pawn shop owner, navigating deals with ease and showcasing his expertise. However, off-screen, Rick was dealing with a complex web of personal issues. The public's adoration of the show's behind-the-scenes drama and the high-stakes negotiations did not reflect the full reality of Rick's life. Behind closed doors, he was facing legal battles, family tragedies, and the weight of past losses that continued to haunt him. The early signs of Rick's personal challenges were subtle but telling. Despite his outward success, he struggled with the emotional scars of his past. The loss of his sister Joanne, his ongoing health issues, and the recent death of his father all cast long shadows over his personal life. These issues were compounded by the stress of managing a high-profile television show, which added another layer of complexity to his already difficult circumstances. Rick's public persona as a successful businessman and television star contrasted sharply with the emotional and legal battles he was fighting behind the scenes. The pressures of fame, combined with ongoing personal struggles, created a dichotomy that was both challenging and painful. The public success of Pawn Stars did little to ease the burdens Rick carried, and the contrast between his professional achievements and personal struggles became increasingly pronounced. As Rick Harrison's public persona soared with the success of Pawn Stars, the glittering facade of fame and fortune was contrasted sharply by a series of personal and professional challenges that threatened to overshadow his achievements. While the show provided him with unprecedented exposure and financial success, it also brought with it a storm of legal troubles and heartbreaking family losses. The legal battles that Rick faced were not just minor inconveniences, they were significant hurdles that tested his resolve and impacted every facet of his life. One notable case involved a lawsuit from a former employee who accused the pawn shop of wrongful termination and discrimination. The case, which dragged on for months, put Rick in the uncomfortable spotlight of courtroom drama. The legal fees, the stress of litigation, and the negative media coverage took a toll not just on Rick's finances but on his mental well-being. The public nature of these battles added a layer of scrutiny to his life, making every legal issue a matter of public interest. Another legal challenge emerged from disputes over business practices and regulations. The pawn industry is heavily regulated, and even minor infractions can lead to significant legal trouble. Rick's pawn shop faced accusations related to compliance issues, which led to investigations and fines. These legal issues were more than just financial setbacks, they brought a constant sense of unease and distraction. Each legal battle seemed to chip away at the stability of the business, and the stress of managing these issues while trying to maintain a successful TV show was immense. The impact of these legal troubles on Rick's public image was profound. Once viewed as a successful entrepreneur with a thriving business, Rick began to appear in the media less like a beloved TV star and more like a figure entangled in controversy. The negative press overshadowed his professional accomplishments and affected how fans and the public perceived him. The constant legal scrutiny and the associated drama were difficult to navigate, and they began to create a sense of instability around the once unshakable success of Pawn Stars. As if these legal struggles were not enough, Rick's personal life was hit hard by a series of devastating family losses. The most recent blow came with the death of a crucial family member who had been integral to both the pawn shop and Rick's personal life. This loss was not just a personal tragedy but a significant blow to the business. This family member had been a pillar of support, someone whose presence and contributions were deeply woven into the fabric of the shop's operations. Losing them meant more than just dealing with grief, it meant facing the practical challenges of continuing the business without a key player. The emotional impact of this loss was profound for Rick. The death of a loved one, especially someone so closely involved in daily operations, left a void that was both personally and professionally painful. Rick not only had to grapple with the sadness of losing someone dear but also faced the overwhelming task of managing the business amidst this personal upheaval. The shop felt different without this family member's presence, and the weight of their absence was felt deeply in every corner of the business. Living under the glare of public attention, Rick Harrison's life has been a balancing act between the high-profile success of Pawn Stars and the relentless personal struggles that have marked his journey. Coping with ongoing tragedy, public scrutiny, and legal battles has exacted a significant psychological and emotional toll on Rick, revealing the profound strain beneath his public persona. Rick's response to tragedy and loss has been multifaceted, involving a combination of personal coping strategies and external support systems. One of Rick's primary methods for managing his emotional burden has been to immerse himself in his work. The pawn shop and Pawn Stars became more than just career pursuits, they served as sanctuaries from the turbulence of his personal life. The routine and focus required by running a business and appearing on television provided Rick with a structured environment where he could momentarily escape his pain. This immersion in work allowed him to channel his energy into something productive and offered a distraction from the emotional weight of his personal losses and legal troubles. In addition to work, Rick has leaned heavily on his family. Despite the pressures that fame and legal battles have placed on their relationships, the Harrison family has remained a pillar of support. Rick's relationship with his father, Richard, and his sons, Corey and Chum Lee, has been a source of strength. The family's shared experiences, from the highs of television success to the lows of personal tragedy, have forged a deep bond. They have come together not only to manage the business but also to provide emotional support. Family gatherings, shared responsibilities, and collective coping efforts have been crucial in helping Rick navigate his difficulties. This network of mutual support has provided him with a sense of stability and understanding that is vital when facing such overwhelming challenges. Yet, the emotional impact of public scrutiny and media coverage has added a complex layer of stress to Rick's life. Every legal issue, personal tragedy, and family struggle has been laid bare for public consumption. The media's relentless focus on his difficulties often lacked empathy, reducing intricate personal issues to sensational headlines. The constant exposure has amplified the stress and frustration Rick feels, turning private battles into public spectacles. This relentless scrutiny can feel invasive and dehumanizing, stripping away the nuance of his experiences and leaving him feeling isolated in the public eye. The effect of these pressures extends into Rick's personal relationships. The combination of legal battles, public criticism, and personal loss has strained his interactions with family and friends. The stress of managing legal issues and dealing with negative media coverage has created a backdrop of tension and uncertainty. While the support from his family has been invaluable, the challenges they face together can also create additional stress and strain on their relationships. The balancing act of maintaining a positive public image while managing personal turmoil has undoubtedly affected the dynamics within his close circle. Rick's public persona has also been influenced by these ongoing challenges. The contrast between his professional success and personal struggles has painted a complex picture for the public. While Pawn Stars showcased his business acumen and expertise, the behind-the-scenes reality was often far more turbulent. The media's portrayal of Rick, focusing on controversies and difficulties, has shaped public perception in ways that may not fully reflect his resilience and determination. The emotional toll of facing such public judgment while grappling with personal hardship has been a significant aspect of Rick's journey, adding depth to his story beyond what is visible on screen. As we examine Rick Harrison's current state, it's evident that his journey has been anything but straightforward. From the dizzying heights of fame brought by Pawn Stars to the personal and legal battles that have tested his resolve, Rick's life is a testament to resilience and adaptability. Today, he stands at a crossroads where past achievements and future uncertainties intertwine, shaping a complex narrative of triumph and struggle. Professionally, Rick's role as the face of Pawn Stars remains a significant part of his identity. Despite the show's impressive longevity and continued success, Rick's career is far from static. The Pawn Shop, a globally recognized brand thanks to the television series, continues to operate as a hub of historical discovery and entertainment. However, maintaining such a high profile comes with its own set of challenges. Rick has had to adapt to evolving industry standards and regulations while managing the expectations that come with fame. This means dealing with ongoing legal matters and ensuring that the shop complies with ever-changing laws. The legal battles that once seemed all-consuming have become part of the background noise of his life, but they still require vigilance and strategic management. Rick and his team have refined their approaches to mitigate risks, employing robust legal practices to navigate the complexities of the pawn industry. On the personal front, Rick has demonstrated considerable resilience. The recent family losses have been a heavy burden, but Rick has managed to find stability through a combination of personal fortitude and support from his loved ones. His ability to stay focused on both his work and family responsibilities speaks to his strength. The Harrisons have remained a close-knit unit, and their collective support has been crucial in helping Rick manage the emotional and practical aspects of his life. Family gatherings, shared responsibilities, and mutual encouragement have helped Rick cope with the profound grief of losing important family members. The bond within the Harrison family continues to be a source of emotional strength, offering Rick a sense of grounding and continuity despite the upheavals he has faced. Rick's legacy in the pawn industry is substantial. Pawn Stars has not only transformed the perception of pawn shops but has also added a layer of cultural and educational value to the industry. Through the show, Rick has showcased the historical and collectible significance of various items, turning the pawn shop into a place where history and commerce intersect. The success of the show has brought a new level of respect and curiosity to the pawn business, demonstrating that it is far more than just a financial transaction hub. Rick's expertise and engaging personality have played a pivotal role in this transformation, making him a respected figure in both the entertainment industry and the pawn world. Looking ahead, Rick's future is filled with potential and speculation. There are whispers of new projects and ventures that might further diversify his career. Whether it's exploring new media opportunities, expanding his business ventures, or tackling new challenges, Rick's career is poised for continued evolution. The landscape of reality television and the pawn industry is ever-changing, and Rick's ability to adapt to these shifts will likely play a significant role in shaping his future. As Rick continues to build on his successes, he remains a figure of interest and inspiration. His journey, through triumphs and trials, from his early struggles to his current status, paints a picture of a man who has navigated fame, adversity, and personal growth with remarkable resilience. The future holds both opportunities and uncertainties, but Rick's enduring legacy and adaptive spirit suggest that he will continue to make his mark in the years to come. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.